Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street with me, Shelpat Nagar. Right now, if you look at the markets, we are just hovering in a very small range, 36 points higher, 24,646 right now on the Nifty. The key stocks that are buzzing in trade as far as the Nifty movers are concerned, you have Bajaj Finance that's shot up in trade, 3% higher. It's now trading at 7150 odd levels. Shriram Finance is also pulling up, Britannia, Ultratech Cement, and along with it you also have BPCL and Trent as the top movers on the Nifty. But what's not doing well at this point on the Nifty is Adani Ports, JSW Steel, HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra and SBI. So some of those IT stocks have slipped in the red, and the banking space stocks are also down in the red. What's doing well is autos, FMCG, metal stocks, broader markets and financial services that are still contributing to some gains. Within the PSU space, it's the railway space that's actually buzzing in trade. As we had mentioned in the morning trade, IRFC is 5% higher, IRCTC is buzzing in trade as well. These are also the stocks that are buzzing in the F&O trade as well. So it's a range-bound, flattish trade, just the way it has been going on for the benchmark over the last 3 sessions, but several smaller pockets that are continuing to move up positive. Good afternoon, Shell.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and one of the best and the most satisfying stock spotting is on Bajaj Finance. For those of us who've been with the channel for the last 1 week or so, I have been pointing out that at 6600, 6700, this is one counter that has done nothing and therefore is about to blast, and as is the grace in the market, Bajaj Finance has done extremely well. In fact, if you look at the Nifty in terms of top gainers, Bajaj Finance is one of the highest contributors, now up 3%, 215 points on Bajaj Finance. And if you look at the pullers and draggers, Bajaj Finance is now contributing the highest, 15 points to Nifty's total tally. So that is one very big plus. And Sakshi, it is not just Bajaj Finance. The entire NBFC space is now in strength. Look at Shriram Finance, Cholamandalam Finance, Muthoot we had marked yesterday, and Manappuram Finance. All 4 of them are showing immense strength as far as activity is concerned on the long side. Keep these 4 in mind, and of course Bajaj Finance is doing fairly well. We had talked about how IRFC, HUDCO and IREDA will be one of the top performers over the last 2 days. In the morning, we've marked railway stocks. All of them are doing pretty well. Remember wagon makers, that is where we had ended the show. Titagarh wagon was up about 11 odd percent in morning. At the moment, if you see, Titagarh has begun its first day of a very strong rally, and at the moment Titagarh is still up 6.5%. Intraday high was 1347. Look at Jupiter Wagons. For those who've been watching us for a very long while, this is one of the stocks that Mark Mobius had advised on. Intraday high of 565. At the moment, still 11% higher, 551. And of course, there's no stopping IRFC, IRCON, TexRail, and also RailTel. So this is the theme that is running in the broader market. Railway stocks ahead of the budget, as also fertilizer space is buzzing with gains. Sakshi.
Right. We'll also welcome our guest on board, Nilesh Jain, Head and Vice President Technicals and Derivatives of Equity Research at Centrum Broking, will be joining in pretty shortly to share with us his views on the markets. Meanwhile, we'll start looking at some of the other buzzers in trade towards the broader markets. When we talk about the gainers and the losers right there, in the gainers list, you have some other interesting names that are coming up sharply. Remember, auto ancillaries is something that we've been discussing over the last few days. Today it's precision camshafts that's up by about 10 odd percent in trade. That's the one that's buzzing. So keep an eye out on this entire space. We are seeing several momentum stocks within this pack over the last many days, and this could continue too. Gen Irrigation Systems is up by 9% after a long haul. This stock is actually buzzing. within the irrigation space as well. Jupiter wagons, something that Shell pointed out to, 11% higher, very strong surge returning to the railway wagon makers right there. Lambodra Textiles, as was marked in the morning, 11.5% higher, still continues to be one of the top buzzers in the trade. You have Landmark Property Developers, another 20% circuit on this one. Landmark Property has been in fact on the move in the last 2 weeks and has been substantially moving. If we pull up the chart of the last 1 week, you will get to see how the stock has rallied in trade. Again, it's a very small ticket stock and a high beta stock, so one should not really be very careful right there. BL Kashyap and Sons is another one that's moving up in trade within the broader markets. Sunflag Iron and Steel, that's another one that's moving up sharply, about 16-17% higher in trade. That's the kind of move that you're looking at. Ashapura Minechem, another 10% uptick for this one as well. So some such stocks within broader sectors that are actually making their presence felt in the broader markets right there. When we talk about the Nifty next 50 names as well, apart from the railway story that we've been discussing, NBFC, as Shell was pointing out, the move is across the board. Geo Financial Services now up 2.5%. From the consumer durables, you have Havells that's pulling up in trade as well, and many such stocks that are actually now contributing to the gains. Okay, Nilesh Jain now with us. Warm welcome to you, Nilesh. Good to have you with us. Tell us, what is the market setup really telling you after this another range bound trade has really panned out? Any key stocks that are on top of your radar?
Very good afternoon to you, Sakshi. Good afternoon, Selesh and everyone. So market, if you look at in past 3-4 consecutive sessions, we have seen some amount of consolidation in the benchmark indices. But if you look at the broader markets on the other hand, where we have seen a lot of outperformance, the mid cap and small cap index have continued their gain for the 9th consecutive session. So overall, the major structure and undertone looks on a positive side. The Nifty, although is on the verge of a breakout above 24,700 will give first level of confirmation, and post then we might see another leg on the upside towards 25,000 to 25,200. Now, coming back to stocks, we have a couple of buy recommendation. First of all, OMC stocks, BPCL, this particular stock is looking positive. We have seen a breakout coming in this particular counter. Long build-up is also happening. Counter is trading above is 200 exponential moving average. So we can expect a follow-up move towards 313 to 318. So that's the target on the upside. 301 should be the stop loss for the long position. And apart from that, within Auto Pact, TVS Motor, this particular counter is looking positive. We can expect a follow-up move to continue towards 2580, 2600. Stop loss can be placed below 2500.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just point out one other interesting factor. Sakshi, remember in the morning we were talking about that both Nifty and Bank Nifty will be in a consolidation phase, and that's exactly that has happened. Nifty not moving anywhere beyond 650, 680, and it was cash that was supposed to make a lot of noise. Now look at the top 4 or 5 traded counters in top 10. Swan Energy is the top traded counter today. Very strong breakout. 2091 crores worth of shares have been traded. Both Jupiter Wagon and Titagarh are 3rd and 4th most active traded counters on the NSE. Both showing very heavy volume. 1500 crores on Jupiter Wagon and almost 1500 crores on Titagarh. It essentially means that cash is ruling the market in terms of stock ideas, and this probably would be the first day of the rally on JWL and Titagarh. Apart from that, PNC Infra is the 10th most active traded counter, 14% higher. Vari Energy, Greaves Cotton, Premier Energies, Ola Electric, these are the ones that are showing gains. Some of these counters have now come into the F&O space as well, but extremely high action coming in all those stocks where, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have the fear of selling in F&O. So this is what is ramping up. And the energy space, BPCL 1.7% higher, Indraprastha Gas 1.5% higher, you have Maruti a percentage point higher, PPL Pharma 0.7% higher. And in terms of real space For sharp growth, you have counters such as Ashapura Mines. I think you just marked that, 10% higher. Alembic Limited, 9% higher. Office, this is the related space in the preferential offer that had just come in. Huge new additions, 8.6% higher. And of course, the move on counters such as RK Swami BBDO. This was the travel website that had come in, 7% higher. Today, 73 crores worth of transactions have happened on Exigo. I don't remember the last time I've seen this volume. It's very heavy, and one of the heaviest that I've seen since listed day. This is something to be looked at. Most recently, the counter was at 194 how should I say, 15 weeks ago, but a fresh move starting today, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Well, apart from this, you know what's picking up pace is the FMCG stocks, about 0.5% higher in trade, led by Britannia. That's now up by 2.5% within the Nifty movers. Stocks like even Marico are buzzing, 3% higher. Colgate 1.5% up, Nestle a percent higher, Tata Consumer Products, Dabur, HUL, Godrej Consumer Products, all of them are in thick action. Nilesh, will this momentum continue? Because FMCG, the only fear is that, you know, it happens for a few days and then it fizzles out in terms of the rally that comes here. Do you think this time around there is a strength that could continue for a few more days then?
If you just look at the Nifty FMCG index chart, the index is itself is trading at 56,783 levels as of now. The major structure is on a negative side, forming a lower top and lower bottom formation. So this pullback, what we are witnessing in few stocks within FMCG pack, I think one should focus on these stocks where we are witnessing a pullback rather than looking at the overall FMCG space as a whole. Which is not looking that promising. I think few stocks that are showing strength. Britannia is one of them that you have just pointed out. So Britannia looks positive for a pullback, which may extend further towards 5,000 to 5,050, and stop loss can be placed below 4,800. And apart from that, if you see Kolpal, another similar structure here as well, we might see a follow-up move towards 3,000 to 3,100 with a stop loss below 2,800. Kolpal can be bought. So these are the momentum trades purely from a trading perspective. One can look at these stocks, but overall FMCG as a whole, we are not liking as of now.
Fair point. No issue at all. There are many fishes in this pond that can be tracked on the long side. Colgate Palmolive, of course, we've seen the stock correct from 3,800 rupees. This was on 30th September, actually 3,900 rupees, all the way down to 2693. This was a very sharp sell-off, roughly to the tune of about 32-33%. So this is done and dusted. But what else is moving very sharply? A company called Latent View, they make glasses for the defense space, as also satellites. This is something to be watched. In terms of cement, two counters have shown very sharp breakouts. Nuvoco Cement, this is run by the Nirma Group. In the morning it had gone all the way up to about 383, but now 371. Very nice price and volume breakout. And of course KCP. KCP Limited is again one of those underreported and under-tracked companies at about 255 rupees. These are all volume and price breakouts in a specific sector which need to be looked at. Remember, across the board cement companies in the 4 regions of India have hiked cement bags prices to the tune of 10 to 30 rupees. Let's get Nilesh into the conversation. Nilesh bhai, any pick that you like on the charts as far as cement is concerned?
So within cement pack, the stocks that we are liking is Ultratech Cement, one of the heavyweight, where we have seen a good breakout coming in this particular stock. And even if you look at the derivative data, close to 2% OI addition can also be seen. So good long build-up is happening. We have seen a base formation near about 10,600, and from those levels we have seen a strong momentum. So this particular counter still has immediate hurdle near about 12,100. If it crosses 12,100, it will be considered as a good consolidation breakout, and the target will come towards 12,600 to 13,000 as well. So overall, it's good stock to accumulate at current level as well. We expect a follow-up move to continue. Apart from that, you mentioned about KCP. This stock is also looking promising on the chart today. It looks like it is giving a kind of a flag and pole pattern breakout. So on the upside, the next level to watch out would be 262 to 265. Stop loss can be placed below 249. So from a risk and reward perspective as well, this stock is looking positive.
Okay, got that. Well, apart from this, railways clearly in the buzz today, Nilesh. How are you looking at IRFC? Would you chase the momentum after today's move here? And what else apart from IRFC appeals to you? Do you think wagon makers make for an interesting trade ahead?
So Sakshi, first of all, a disclaimer. We have already recommended IRFC in the morning to our clients. So yes, it's already there in our recommendation list for upside target of 172 to 175. Still, it can be bought at current level, keeping a stop loss below 160. The stock looks strong on the chart. Apart from that, wagon maker, as you have rightly pointed out, Jupiter Wagon, which has already given a good spurt today. So the risk and reward out there is not looking attractive as of now. But if somebody is already holding the long position, can continue to ride that momentum towards 580 to 600, quite possible. And 540 should be the stop loss for the long position. Apart from that, another railway stock that we are liking is IRCTC. So IRCTC has given a decent correction from the highs. Now it looks like it is forming a good base formation. Stop loss for this particular call can be placed somewhere around 830, and we can expect a follow move towards 880 to 900.
250, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 40 minutes left. Let's look at the broader picture as far as the advanced decline ratio is concerned. The Nifty, as I have been saying since the last 3 days, is completely range bound. After 3 weeks of very strong gains, the Nifty is now relaxing and consolidating. But that doesn't mean, ladies and gentlemen, that there is no action. The action is in the cash market. 1320 shares are in the green, 1058 in the red. Rallies led by beaten down FMCG sectors here, primarily Britannia and of course some other counters, but 0.5% higher on the FMCG index, 56789. Sakshi, what could be better? That's what the index is at for the moment, 56789. Keep that in mind. Apart from that, you see strong moves in auto, the Alpha 50 and the small cap 100 index as well. Small cap 100 index has hit a record high today. So this is what we are trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Quiet top line as far as indices are concerned, the Nifty and the Bank Nifty, but immense action in the small cap space. Let's just dip into the Nifty small cap index. We'll tell you some very interesting data which is only visible at our end. There are 4 stocks which are more than 5% higher. We've discussed all 4 of them: Jupiter Wagons, Swan Energy, Titagarh and Ircon. 4% higher: Raymond, Railtel, Reddington and Apar Industries. Are there any stocks that are fallen more than 5%? Yes, there is just one, which is ITI Limited, and nobody should have any problems with ITI. Remember, it moved from 320, 340 all the way to 401, and we marked every single step in that journey. This is how momentum is in the market. Sakshi, what are you looking at?
Stocks within even the consumer durables that have started to pick up pace. We were talking about Havells. Now Voltas is among one of those F&O movers in trade as well. That's buzzing sharply higher. Then you also have stocks like Blue Star, that's up 2.5%, Amber Enterprises, but all of these, Whirlpool as well, something that you've consistently marked, Shell, in the run up to the LG IPO that could be in the offing. All of these stocks are also in thick action. Consumer durables for you, Niresh, and could you tell us your top favorite one in the current buzz?
So out of all the stocks that you have just pointed out, Voltas is something that is looking strong on the chart. The stock has already taken off its 50-day moving average resistance earlier. Now that will act as immediate support, which is placed at 1740. So 1740 should be the stop loss for the long position, and it looks like it is heading towards 1850 to 1900. So good upside can be seen in this particular stock. Voltas looks positive, can be bought at current level, and Havells, apart from Voltas, Havells is also giving a good breakout above its 50 DMA, which is placed at 1760. So above 1760 will open upside towards 1800 to 1850. So looks good at current level. Keep a stop loss somewhere around today's low, that is 1700. So that should be the stop loss for the long position.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
254. Sakshi, as good a time as any to look at trend. Remember, I had spotted Bajaj Auto, my apologies, Bajaj Finance. Trend is something that has, only and only seen signs of profit booking ever since it entered the Nifty. So, all-time high was 8300 almost, 8345. That we saw on 14th October, and by 14th December, which is a couple of days ago, you've seen a very, very sharp correction. So trend is something that people should watch out on the long side. The charts is what Nilesh will comment on. Nilesh, by trend.
Making a good comeback from the levels of 60 to 50, and it has started forming a rising channel. So structure wise looks good for 7200 to 7300. So on immediate basis, yes, there seems to be some more upside left in this particular stock. 6820 should be the stop loss for the long position, and looking at today's reversal candle, I think in next 1 or 2 days we might see a follow-up move towards 7200 to 7400. So yes, can be bought at current level, keeping a stop loss below 6820.
Okay. Got it. So that's as far as trend is concerned. Sharp moves right there. We'll keep an eye out on it. This one, 6987 currently. That's something that we can continue to focus on too. What else is buzzing? In the FNO space is Syngene International. That's been on the buzz as well, and that's also moving up sharply. Tata Communications is another one that's also garnering some traction there. Geo Finance, Cummins India. These are the stocks which are on the buzz in the FNO space. Small caps are definitely doing better than the benchmarks, 0.4% higher. Apart from the railway names, the entire space is on the buzz. So 12% higher for JWL, Titagarh Rail up 7%, Ircon International 5% higher, Railtel up 4%, you have Triveni Turbine up 3%. So the entire space is on the buzz. Keep that in mind. Apart from this, Raymond is up by 4.5%, Apar Industries, Reddington, JBM Auto, that's another one that's also on the buzz in the small cap space. In fact, it will be interesting to also look at the auto ancillaries. They have been on the buzz, and JBM Auto has actually come in back into focus today. Tire makers are actually buzzing as well. Some of those names, Exide, Balkrishna, that's also on the move within the auto ancillary space. Bosch is also on the move right there. We'll keep an eye out on that too. Metals particularly is something that's interesting. Nilesh, metals is something that we've been tracking for the last 3-4 days. Vedanta is something that's been outperforming here. What would you pick within the metal pack, and do you think this rally should be caught on early?
So within metals pack, Vedanta is one stock which is showing an outperformance, and we expect this momentum to continue. So Vedanta on the upside, the target comes around 525 to 540, and the stop loss can be placed 498. That's today's low. So apart from Vedanta, another stock that is Steel Authority of India Limited, SAIL, that has witnessed a lot of underperformance of late. Now recently we have seen the momentum have once again picked up. So on the upside may extend towards 135 to 138. Stop loss can be placed below 123, and the Steel Authority can also be looked at within metal pack.
Hmm. 258, ladies and gentlemen. Some spaces in the travel and tourism sector are now opening up. Two stocks I'll mark. Ease My Trip. This is the post bonus readjustment, 1.5% higher, 17.1, and Exigo, IXIGO. This is also a very strong breakout that we've just discussed. So these are the two from the segment of arrangers of tourism, and that's because North India is seeing Kumbh in Allahabad. Therefore, a lot of travel is happening towards up north, and these travel agencies which are on the listed space are doing immensely well. Apart from that, Sakshi has been very keenly marking Indian hotels. The stock at 805 is more affordable than a hotel room, so that is something that you need to keep an eye out on. Apart from that, what else is on a very strong move? GIPCL, this is Gujarat Industrial Power Corporation, 251, 11% higher, and the sharpness of the move is met with volume. So this is something that is doing extremely well. Let's get our friend Nilesh into the conversation. Nilesh, by GIPCL.
The structure looks very strong, specifically after today's move, where we have seen huge volume attraction of close to 52 lakh, more than 52 lakh volume have been added today. And technically on price front, the stock has given a good breakout about 246. So that was the resistance zone that it has already cleared. So now the next level on the upside looks like it is heading towards a new record high of 265 to 270. So if on the other hand, if you look at in this week itself, it's already up close to 20%. So the risk and reward is definitely not looking favorable at current level. Wait for some dip towards 246 to 244. That could be a good entry point. One can keep a stop loss below 238, and target on the upside comes around 265 to 270.
Got that. There is some news flash that's coming in with respect to Swiggy. Remember, the stock was down by about 4.5% since morning. The company's launched one BLCK, which is an invite-only premium membership now for Swiggy. Remember, viewers, what we have seen for both Zomato and for Swiggy, Zomato more so because it's had longer history on the D Street than Swiggy, that their path to profitability has actually come in with these innovations that are coming in, where they have raised prices consistently to avail their service from consumers. So something like a platform fee, a handling charge, premium memberships, those are some things that have actually aided into margins as well as profitable growth for these companies. And now Swiggy is talking about a premium membership right there. We'll get more details. That was just a single flash that I wanted to point out. But Nilesh, are you looking at Swiggy? We've seen 555. There are targets of upwards of 700 that some of the brokerage houses have given already on Swiggy too. Despite the kind of narrowing on the valuations that Swiggy has already done since the time it's got listed with and as compared to Zomato, how are you looking at these two?
So Swiggy, it's a recent listing and I have very limited data. I won't be able to comment on that, but
Sure.
Whatever data I have, it looks like the stock has a very good support near about 475. So if somebody is already holding the long position, can trail SL to 475, and upside once again, if at all it resumes the upside, then 550, 570 is something that we might see. On the other hand, Zomato is comparatively looking better, and although today we have seen some amount of profit taking in this particular stock, but risk and reward looks favorable. 280 is the very strong support for this particular counter. So it can be bought keeping a stop loss below 280. We might see another leg on the upside towards 300 to 320.
Okay. Got that. Right. So that's as far as Swiggy and Zomato
303,
are
ladies and
concerned.
gentlemen, 27 minutes left in trade, and Sakshi, there is a digit change in trend. Now above 7,000, 7,026 to be precise, 1.9% higher. This is doing pretty well. Cash will follow suit fairly shortly. And an interesting counter I'd like to mark is Jubilant Ingravia. This is something that we did track long time ago, but somehow it just fell off the radar, and today again there is a price and volume breakout. 840. Let's see whether this is a multi high. Probably it is. 1 second. Yes, this is a multi-month high. The last time we saw this price was in November 21, Sakshi, and from November 21, it 840 levels, it corrected all the way down to 355, and from 355 now we have a very strong move coming in. Let's check with Nilesh ji if he wants to chase this momentum. Jubilant Ingravia for you, Nilesh ji.
So it's a multi-month and multi-year breakout candidate. It's good that you have highlighted the right time. The stock looks like giving a good close, and if you see volume attraction here as well, good price and volume breakout we can say. So position target comes around 900 to 950, and yes, can be done a kind of a BTSD trade in this particular stock. Stop loss should be placed below 815. Immediate basis target comes around 860 to 870, and position target comes somewhere around 950.
Okay, got that. We'll thank you then, Nilesh, for being with us on this special edition to share with us all of these wonderful insights and sharing with us all your stock ideas as well. Hope you have a great time till the time we meet you next. And
Thank
now,
you,
viewers, we will invite another top market expert on the show with us. Is Mr. Sharad Awasthi. He's the head of research at Smith's. Warm welcome to you, Sharadji. Good to have you with us. The winter is getting into its thick form right now. We are going to be facing even snowfall happening in many places as well. So there's a crispness in the air outside. What is the weather on the D Street really telling you at this point in time? Is a Santa Claus rally coming in soon?
Well, I do hope to see a Santa Claus rally, but yeah, I have been hoping for that for quite some time. I think it's a bit delayed, but certainly I think once this quarter numbers start rolling in, the Tata Consumer did prove to be a dampener with the type of outlook they have given out. But I'm still awaiting rest of the confirmations to come in. I'm very hopeful that this quarter and next quarter the numbers should look very different vis-a-vis what they've looked in the first half of the financial year. And I think internationally also stocks have rallied a bit while India has not done that much. So the valuation discomfort that was there in comparison to international markets substantially narrowed now, and maybe India is a more favorable place to look at. And as the numbers scope up over the next, this quarter and next quarter, I think a lot of re-rating should happen to the numbers. But yeah, till now it's been a bit dampener. But considering the type of outlook I have and a lot of bundling happening in the second half, I think we should certainly look at Santa Claus rally.
$306. Sadly, only 24 minutes are left for us to interact with perhaps the finest brain on Dalal Street. शरद जी, नमस्कार आपको और बहुत बहुत स्वागत. कलकत्ता का क्रिसमस अगर लोगों ने नहीं एक्सपीरियंस किया तो ज़रूर जाना चाहिए, और अगर शरद जी से मुलाकात हो जाए तो बहुत ही बढ़िया. इन दोनों में से एक चीज़ तो करनी अति आवश्यक है. शरद जी, what are the markets telling you? You've been a very cautious buyer, and we have a record high on the small cap index again. How are you sort of utilizing these very small bursts of opportunity that the market gives for maybe a week or so to buy into quality? Anything that you've added in 10-20 days?
Sharad ji, could you hear us?
Sharad ji, could you hear my question?
I think there is some kind of a technical glitch right there.
We'll just try to get.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll get back, Sharaji, but for the moment, the breakouts in Jubilant Ingravia and Trent continue. 7,070. Remember, we started marking it at 69.50. So it's already a very spurt that is coming into Trent, and no doubt in my mind that this is not just a single day rally. So please keep these two stocks in mind. Record high on Jubilant Ingravia and a fresh start on Trent. Stopping Ircon, we started marking it at 220 rupees. Now you see a 6.5% uptick on Ircon at 237. In terms of volume, there is no stopping Swan Energy. Now 2,200 crores worth of shares have been traded. I'm just checking with the PCR if Sharad ji is back. Chalo, no worries. Sakshi, what is on your radar?
A lot of shares that one can really look at from the broader markets, all from diversified sectors. I'll just mark Vakrangi is something that we should be looking at, 8% higher, very strong move on this one. Then we also have Alembic Limited, you already marked, it's up 9%. Swan Energy is moving up 9% higher in trade as well. You have stocks like Electrotherm India, that's also up at 5% circuit. Asian Granito from the building material space is moving up about 6% higher. Remember, we've been focusing on the cement space, and now the building material space is also as an ancillary moving up. Rushil Decor, Nitco, we have Arcitply Industries, Exaro Tiles, all of them buzzing in trade. We have Sharad ji with us. Sharad ji, we were discussing about markets and various key sectors. Cement clearly is on the buzz yet again. Building materials is something that's back in action right there. Focus coming back on the infra space and how the government spending could speed up as far as the upcoming budget is again concerned. Your own sense on how the infra story may now play out. What are the key sectors you're looking at and any key stocks there, sir?
Yeah, certainly. I think cement should be on a roll. We were talking that most of the infra activity should come back.
Yeah.
Soon issues, election issues, everything was slowing down. Even the your order release by the NHAI, etc., were also much slower in the first half. And with the GDP number being a damn squib in last reported numbers also, I think there will be heightened activity on the government side as well. So most probably everything will bundle into the second half, showing you very good growth. So I think cement should certainly be one sector. I think valuations are attractive in pockets there. Frontline names might not be attractive on an EV per ton basis. But our top pick in the top line space would be Dalmia Bharat. That is one stock I think that has very good potential. Long-term targets for growth, etc., are very aggressive. Among the medium-sized, medium to smaller companies, I think JK Lakshmi Cement is something we are extremely bullish on. Very strong operating matrices, and add to that, valuation comfort and a strong, aggressive capex guidance over the longer term. I think all this should play out very well. So Dalmia is partly South, partly East India, and some bit of North and Western India, while JK would largely be, a North India predominant company. So both these companies, I think they have a lot of potential to improve on the numbers and do much better. And within the larger players, I think ACC could be one which could throw up some surprises in terms of improvement in operational efficiencies. And I think there is a possibility that you could have some valuation catch-up play there also. Within the infra space, I think unless and until the order backlog substantially bloats for most of the companies at these valuations, might be you won't get a very good opportunity to participate. But within that, I think L&T could be a very good opportunity to participate. The IT part has played out very well. Maybe ATM keeps surprising on the upside. Though I don't expect IT to contribute further to the upside in L&T. But the other businesses should substantially aid the growth in L&T, and I think within the capital goods space, it's an attractive valuation that L&T is trading at. And in case some of the asset demon happens, which is particularly the Hyderabad Metro, etc., that should release some money for them. So I think L&T is a good bet at these valuations. I would be very happy buying into L&T as a proxy to the infra play. And within cement, obviously, I think Dalmia Bharat and JK Lakshmi remain my top bets, and even ACC could have some surprises to offer.
Namaste Sharaji. In the last 15 days, have you added any counter to your client's portfolio in the small cap and the mid cap space?
So small cap, mid cap space, we have been looking at Ether Industries, Sheela Foams. Similarly, we have been looking at Fusion, which has not done very well. But I think these are stories which are there to stay once the recovery starts rolling in. These could perform very well. Sheela Foams, we are very aggressive. I think the brand is strong. The Kurlon integration has done very well. Going ahead, I think as the integration benefits start pouring in and the capex that they are doing in one of the plants here and some capex in Spain as well. So I think all these combined, it should do very well. The Furlenco integration is also going on. The company is talking about using cross sales at the various Kurlon and Sleepwell stores to improve the Furlenco sales as well. So I think all in all, this looks like a very good story, which could have decent upside. Initially, you could look at, targets of maybe 1250, 1300. But I think once the ball starts rolling in favor, I think there will be a lot of improvement. The raw material are primarily derivatives of crude, where we'll see a major bump up anytime. Rather, they would remain subdued. So pressure would not emanate from there. And once these acquisitions also fall in place, Kurlon has already done well. They have more or less integrated it into the system. So operational efficiencies will also start flowing in. So this is one idea. I think it's a strong brand and growth should be very good. So Sheela is one idea which we think is a good idea to bet on. And similarly, I think even Fusion available at very attractive valuations, though it looks a bit risky, but that is the nature of this business. Occasionally, they can go in for some blunt, takeaways where a lot of NPAs do accumulate on the numbers. But I think the prudence of the management is something I'm betting on, and I think over the next 1.5 years, this could come out as a very strong story. And at these valuations, I don't think you have much to lose.
Okay, got that. Sharad ji, apart from these stocks that you've mentioned, which we'll definitely keep an eye out on, how are you looking at Trent, for instance, yet again after consolidation? We marked that shell, you pointed that out. There's already a digit change, 7,090 now on Trent. It's at the high point of the day, 3% higher now. Yeah. So yes, that's the kind of move that we are seeing on this one. Sharad ji, some of the fund managers during the Diwali discussions were saying that probably their biggest regret is not having bought Trent in the Sambat to Sambat. What about now after consolidation? Should it be still considered as part of the portfolio?
I don't think it would be a hard call to tell that you don't buy Trent with the type of performance it has put in. But I think I have my own matrices, and I think at these valuations, buying it at 150 times, whether you expect, this re-rating to continue. I think the first level of re-rating has happened in terms of numbers, in terms of prices as well. But as markets are, they have exaggerated it a bit on the upside. I don't think at these valuations there is a possibility that the re-rating could be as smart as it has been in terms of the financial numbers the company has reported over the last 1.5 2 years. So I think to expect that forward earnings last 1 year, your FY26 earnings, we have improved from 20 to 67. So it's already 3-4 times. So to expect that this would continue over the next 1.5 year, I think that's a very distant thought. I don't think that's a decent probability happening anytime soon. So I think these valuations, it reports 70-75 bucks. Yes, very much possible. It continues to grow at 35-40%. Very much possible. Is the business approach something that is very unique that other people cannot copy and come into? I don't think that's the thing. So I think many people will follow the approach now because it's been a very successful approach. And the competition will eat into it. And obviously, scale also comes into play. Beyond a particular scale, you cannot expect linear relationships to thrive. So I don't think trend is going to grow at the same rate, or the improvement will happen at the same rate as it has happened in the last 1.5 2 years. Now it will be a probably more tepid improvement, even if it happens. Maybe 5 to 10% better growth than what we are seeing right now, or what we are expecting right now. So you are expecting 70, 75, maybe it goes up to 80 bucks. Even then, what you are trading at is 7,000 bucks. I think it's a bit of a steep valuation. I would venture into Trent at these valuations.
Sakshi, Sharadji does not, how should I say, buy into stocks where PE is above 20. ये इनकी खासियत है. he is a value buyer, and 100 p, so he will not even keep in his portfolio. So if he's bought something below 20 PE and that goes to 40, 45, maybe 2.5 times PE expansion, bas uske baad namaste. Then it is for momentum players to take it forward rather than value buyers and sensible investors. But that's how it is. Sharadji, listing of LG India is on the cards. Within the brown goods space of Blue Star, Voltas, and many other OEM makers, is there a stock which catches your fancy?
Within that space, I think we have been a bit bullish about Crompton. I think that's a story. They are expanding their TAM substantially by getting into newer businesses. So in the long term, I think that is something that could do very well. Among the smaller players, even Orient Electric could be something that you could look at. And if you want to bet on a long-term theme, I think air conditioners is something that is there, for a decadal kind of theme. We are where 2024. So even if you buy it for the next, 8 to 10 years, I think air conditioners could be something. But if you're looking at a shorter time frame, maybe, air conditioner stocks are fairly to fully valued. But Orient Electric and Crompton, I think Crompton hasn't corrected much, but Orient Electric had corrected from the recent highs. But the type of expansion that they are talking about regarding the product diversification, etc., I think it should work very well. So offhand, if I have to remember two, I think both these companies do very well.
Okay. Got that. So that's the view. Apart from this, Sharadji will also pull up one other space for you to give us a sense. Okay, we'll pull up the NBFC financial services space for you. Stocks like Bajaj Finance making a comeback, Shriram Finance making a comeback as well. The entire wealth management space is in thick action too. We have AMCs that are doing very well, broking houses that are doing well, exchange related stocks, BSE, CDSL, all of that is buzzing. Where would you put your fresh money now after the recent move has already played out, sir?
I think among the front lines, I'm still not happy with the valuations that they're trading at. If you talk about a Bajaj Finance, it is trading at 4 or 5 times price to book. It doesn't leave much on the table according to me. Maybe hype, takes it 10-15% higher. Regarding the NBFCs also, I think the small finance banks is a pocket that I think is very attractively priced at this point in time. Within the microfinance space, you could have a lot of opportunities. Spandana, Sfurti, Fusion, as I told you, these are stories that could do very well. Credit access also could be a good idea to look at. SBI card for a turnaround kind of story could be good, but I still don't think that valuations are very attractive. Regarding Shriram, etc., I think the valuations are fairly to fully done. I don't think there is a scope for expansion further. The expansion has happened very beautifully post the merger. What has moved from prices of around 800 to roughly 2500. We are trading at 2.5 times price to book. Chola is also a bit on the expensive side. So I don't think these are ideas which are yielding much on a fundamental side. But recently I was looking at, LIC Housing Finance. I think that is one story that I think that has very decent upside from current prices. Though the lab book had some NPA issues, gradually as it gets resolved, there has not been much acceleration into the NPAs of the lab book. So I think gradually as that comes down, LIC Housing Finance could be one that could see decent upside. To start with, I'm looking at targets maybe 900, 950. So that could be one idea within the gold finance companies. Maybe Manappuram is a good idea with this backdrop where they have not really moved much. The smaller new entrants, basically the Fed Fins and the Muthoot Microfinance could be good ideas that could give you decent results. I think valuation comfort is in this pocket. So these are some ideas that could do well. If you have to pick one within the NBFC space, I think recently what I've looked at, I think LIC Housing does look promising to me.
Okay, got that.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll also show you the visuals of the new governor, Reserve Bank of India, Mr. Sanjay Malhotra. These are the visuals that are coming in from his first press conference. The 26th governor of the Reserve Bank of India will take charge today evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try if we can listen into his views, or maybe these are just visuals that are coming in. Yes, let's try and listen to what Mr. Malhotra is saying. He will outline his strategy for the economy that is in desperate need of a rate cut.
More, of an introduction. Some faces, of course, quite familiar, and some new to the media as well as to your audience. And so let me first of all say that it is indeed an honor to head this august, this prestigious institution. And more than an honor, it is a huge responsibility as well, as you are all aware, with the various tasks, functions that have been entrusted to this central bank, including the monetary policy, the foreign exchange reserves management, the currency control, the payment systems, spreading financial inclusion, banking regulation, growth of credit, ensuring liquidity, and so on and so forth. But RBI has, as I said, is an august, it's a prestigious institution, and it has a huge legacy. Some very commendable work, I think, RBI has done over the years, and it's all because of the hard work and the sheer diligence, the upholding of the values of public service by the staff, by the senior management, and including my predecessors, Mr. Shantikar Das, etc. And so I will continue to uphold the legacy and take it forward. I am aware that the RBI in its 90th year has given to itself the theme of stability, trust, and growth. All these three, I think, very, very apt pillars on which to work. So all these three broad themes that have been chosen, very, very pertinent. Ours is still an economy which needs to develop as we are entering in this Amrit Kal, and to realize the vision of the Viksit Bharat as in 2047, the huge responsibility that we have in ensuring that the growth that this country actually has, that continues, that is part of this theme, and that will continue. Stability in policy, again, very, very important, and this is something even in my previous role we try to give a stability, a continuity in policy. So whether it is taxation policy or fiscal policy or monetary policy, I think all businesses, all people, they do need this continuity and stability rather than a day-to-day kind of a policy. So we continue to uphold this value, this principle of stability. And again, trust. I can assure you that this institution, what it is basically because it has been able to earn the trust.
All right, so there you have been seeing Mr. Sanjay Malhotra. He's taken charge as the 26th Governor of Reserve Bank of India, viewers. Sharadji, I'll come to you. This is his first address right there. He takes over at a time when he is, facing tough challenges on both growth as well as inflation, and what the external macro policies will also be shaping up under Donald Trump now in the mother market as well, and with the US Fed also looking at the key concerns on the CPI inflation that will also come in tonight for US. How are you really looking at the tenure that we could be seeing under Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, and also what is it that the markets could be expecting from him then?
Markets are expecting only one thing, that a rate cut does, expire sometime. But I think it will be continuity of the policy regime that we have seen for some time, and most central banks are usually back-ended. They don't try to forecast most of the things. Though Mr. Saktikanta Das had some forecasting involved in whatever decisions he was taking, and that was very prudent given the volatile times that we have gone through. But I think policy continuity would be something that will continue to get over here also. And a rate cut, most probably. Trump is a wild card. We don't know how it is going to play out, what kind of tariffs we will get into. So that is not something is easy to guesstimate in advance. But tariffs are certainly coming. That seems likely. Even today, most probably, the announcement of 26% tariffs on some countries. That gives you a very clear indication that what is going to happen with China. So mostly, most of that will transpire, last week of Jan. Till Jan, I think he has a clean slate to work on his own. Uh, you can hope that maybe India is spared some of it because of the relationship we have with him. So most probably will not be in that much of a bad spot compared to the rest of the countries. But comparative to China, I think we will be in a better space. And as far as his tenor is concerned, I think over the next 3 to 6 months, globally as well as in India, you will see substantial easing of the inflationary pressures. So I think this for the governor, I think it will be much easier because he will have a cleaner trajectory on inflation as well as interest rates. So that should help him ease out and easily go after rate cuts.
Sharadji, before we let you go, you've made your preference for known in terms of a stock that you would buy within the Nifty at current valuations. Is there anything else that you like within the Nifty that makes practical sense for the next 3 years?
Yeah, I think Maruti at current prices is a decent bet you could look at. There has been a recent correction. The new launches could be very successful. Similarly, even Tata Motors after this correction seems like a very good bet to have in your portfolio. Uh, Both could easily offer you 20-25% kind of appreciation over the next 1.5 years.
Thank you, Sharadji. It's always a pleasure to host you. And we'll keep in mind Sheila Foam, L&T, Maruti, and Tata Motors. Have a nice evening, sir.
Thank you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was the action for Wednesday. Flat, absolutely flat as far as the Nifty is concerned, just 20 points higher. 185 point downtick on the Nifty Bank. Remember, Thursday is the weekly expiry of the Nifty. The last 5 sessions have been a dream run for option writers because they made the maximum money by selling all those inflated calls that were there in the FNO space because of the 3-week run up on the Nifty. Let us see how it goes on Thursday. But the eventual winners for today were cement space and railways, and fertilizer has shown signs of moving ahead. Sakshi, yours.
All right, that's as far as the market wrap is concerned. And what we'll do, viewers, is we'll take you back to the first address of Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, who's taken charge as the governor of RBI. He's answering a lot of key questions in that first press conference that he's addressing with the media for the larger audiences like there as to what can be expected on the policy front, what is the state of the economy, and what is his thought process as far as the key policy initiatives that the MPC will need to take under his guidance right there. Let's listen in.
Without killing or without stopping innovation, we'll work towards further use of technology. Over these years, I have also realized that while every institution, including RBI has huge knowledge, and as I mentioned earlier, they have done a tremendous job. They have done a wonderful job in monetary policy management and other financial inclusion, etc. We need to be conscious that we do not have the monopoly of all knowledge, and so knowledge, information, knowledge, expertise is available outside as well, whether internationally or nationally. And so consultation, which they have been doing, not to say that they have not been doing this, consultation is another one key pillar of our policy making, which RBI, whenever it publishes, finalizes its regulations or master directions, it does do a wide public consultation. And so this is one thing that I will continue to do, so that we are able to carry forward all the functions, all the objectives with which this central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, has been entrusted with. So thank you very much once again. I can all assure you that we will put in the best foot forward in public interest to deliver what the public of India looks forward to, which is trust, which is growth, and which is a stable and certain policy. Thank you. I would suggest that the questions, because if you come up with specific questions, then as I said, it is very early days. They may not, it may not be appropriate for me, to on day one start with, the bouncers and the googlies and the yokers. General questions. So half volleys and practice balls, I think we can perhaps discuss over tea, because that will be more meaningful rather than because this will not carry that weight. So I will suggest that we wait another day for having a Q&A, which I do promise to all of you that very soon we will have Q&A, and I do intend to continue this practice of meeting all of you, so that whatever are our views, they are carried forward correctly, so that everyone understands what the intent, what the direction, what the purpose of whatever actions we have taken or we intend to take are well known to all the citizens and your public.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And with this, we'll close this conference, and I'll request all the media friends to assemble take the door on the left hand side and assemble outside. Thank you.
In a country known for its groundbreaking technology, Japan has yet again redefined luxury and hygiene. This is the human washing machine by Syensqo. A pod-like device that turns your daily bath into a sci-fi experience. So how does it work? It starts with ultrasonic waves to loosen dirt, followed by water jets for a full body cleanse. And the best part? A cloud of nano bubbles that hydrates and rejuvenate your skin. This invention isn't just about luxury, it's eco-friendly too. Using only 10 liters of water per session, that's less than half of your regular shower. The human washing machine is currently being tested in wellness centers across Japan. But developers say it could be in homes worldwide by 2030. Who wouldn't want to swap a boring old shower for this futuristic spa treatment? This isn't Syensqo's first leap. Remember their AI healthcare robot that helps the elderly? Or the robotic exoskeleton that helps with mobility? The human washing machine is yet another step in their journey of blending technology with daily life. From ancient onsen baths to cutting-edge technology, Japan proves that bathing is an art.
Now, staying with Karnataka, Lenskart has scrapped its mega plan project that was expected to be starting a factory in Karnataka, and they have moved instead to the Telangana